They say a mother's love is unconditional, that no matter what your child does, you'll always forgive them, always take them back, always sacrifice for them. I believed that for 43 years. Right up until the moment my daughter told me I was too much of an embarrassment to attend the wedding I'd paid $32,000 for. My name is Victoria, and this is the story of how my daughter used me like an ATM, threw me away like garbage, and how I made sure her perfect wedding day never happened. Before we get into this, if you've ever been betrayed by someone you'd die for, hit that subscribe button, because this story is about what happens when unconditional love finally meets its limit. Now let me take you back to where it all started. I raised Kelly alone. Her father, Aaron, walked out when she was 2 years old. Just packed a bag one Tuesday morning and never came back. No explanation. No child support. No looking back. So it was just me and Kelly against the world. I worked 3 jobs to keep us afloat. Morning shift at the diner, afternoon shift at the grocery store, night shift cleaning offices when Kelly was asleep, and my neighbor Judith could watch her for a few hours. I remember nights when I'd come home at 2 a.m., feet screaming, back aching, and I'd stand in Kelly's doorway just watching her sleep. Her little face peaceful, her stuffed rabbit tucked under her chin, and I'd think, this is worth it. She's worth it. I skipped meals so she could eat, wore the same 3 outfits for years so she could have new school clothes. We lived in a trailer park, small, cramped, but it was ours. I made it a home. When Kelly got sick, I postponed my own medical appointments. That lump I found? I told myself it was nothing. I'd deal with it later. Right now, Kelly needed braces. Kelly needed tutoring. Kelly needed a chance, and she took that chance and ran with it. Kelly graduated top of her class, got a full scholarship to a good university, landed a high-paying corporate job at 24. I cried at her graduation. My little girl, who used to do homework at our tiny kitchen table under a flickering light, now had a corner office and a 6-figure salary. I was so proud. Then she met Tyler. Tyler came from money. Old money. His family owned a chain of luxury hotels across 3 states. When Kelly brought him home for the first time, I could see the difference immediately. The way he carried himself, the expensive watch, the fact that he looked around our trailer like it was a museum exhibit. But he was polite, respectful, and Kelly was glowing. 6 months later, they got engaged. When Kelly told me about the engagement, I hugged her so tight she laughed and said, "Mom, you're crushing me." "I'm just so happy for you, sweetheart," I said, tears in my eyes. We sat at my kitchen table, the same one where she'd done homework all those years, and she showed me the ring. It was beautiful, enormous, probably cost more than I made in a year. "Mom," she said, taking my hand, "I want you to know, this wedding is going to be big. Tyler's family has expectations, and I want it to be perfect." "Of course, honey, whatever you need." She looked at me for a long moment. Then she laughed, this strange, bitter sound I'd never heard from her before. "You know what's funny? You are offering to help, like you have anything to contribute." I blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" She waved her hand dismissively. "Nothing. Forget it." Then she paused like she was reconsidering. "Actually, you know what? Yeah, you can pay for the wedding." "Kelly, I don't have that kind of considerate repayment," she said, her voice suddenly cold. "For all those years I had to live in poverty because of you." The words hit me like a slap. "Kelly, I did everything I could." "Did you?" She stood up. "Because I remember wearing thrift store clothes to school while other kids had to design everything. I remember living in a trailer park while my friends lived in actual houses. So yeah, Mom, you owe me this." Then she smiled, not warmly, but like she'd just won an argument, and left. I sat there for a long time after she drove away, staring at that kitchen table, wondering where my little girl had gone. But I wanted her back. I wanted my daughter to love me again. So I said yes. I took out a $32,000 personal loan against my small house. It was every penny I'd been saving for retirement, for medical emergencies, for the future I'd always hoped would be a little easier than my past. I gave it all to Kelly. And at first, it felt like I'd made the right choice. Kelly called me every few days. "Mom, I found the perfect venue. It's $8,000 for the ballroom. Can you wire the deposit? I wired it the same day. Mom, the caterer needs $9,500 for 180 guests. You're amazing for doing this. I love you so much. I maxed out my credit card. Mom, the photographer is only $3,200. This wedding wouldn't be possible without you. You're the best mom ever. I took out another small loan to cover it. Every time I sent money, Kelly would say the same thing. You're going to have the best seat at the ceremony. Mom, front row, right next to Tyler's parents. Everyone's going to see how important you are to me. I cried happy tears every time. For 2 months, I felt like I had my daughter back. Then the calls stopped. At first, I told myself she was just busy. Wedding planning is stressful, right? But days turned into weeks. My texts went unanswered. My calls went to voicemail. Finally, I drove to her apartment. I needed to see her, to make sure she was okay. The doorman stopped me in the lobby. I'm sorry, ma'am. Ms. Rivera left instructions. You're not allowed up. I stared at him. I'm her mother. He looked uncomfortable. I'm just following orders, ma'am. I went home and cried for 3 hours. 2 days later, I called Kelly's number again. This time she answered, annoyed, distracted. What, Mom? Kelly, I just want to talk. I miss you. Can we— Mom, I'm busy. Tyler's parents are helping with the final details. I'll call you later. She hung up before I could say another word. She never called back. A week before the wedding, I decided to call the wedding planner directly. Maybe I could help with something. Maybe I could feel involved. The planner, a woman named Diane, answered cheerfully. Hello, this is Enchanted Events. Hi, Diane. This is Victoria, Kelly Rivera's mother. I just wanted to confirm. There was a long pause. Oh, Diane said, her voice suddenly careful. Mrs. Chen, I'm so sorry, but according to the guest list, you're not attending the wedding. Kelly said you had health issues and wouldn't be able to make it. My hands went cold. The room tilted. What? I whispered. Oh no. I thought you knew. I'm so sorry. I hung up. My daughter hadn't invited me to her wedding, the wedding I'd paid $32,000 for. I called Kelly immediately. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. She answered on the 3rd ring. What, Mom? Am I not invited to your wedding? Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then, look, it's complicated. Complicated? Kelly, I paid for everything. Yeah, and? You owed me that. Her voice was sharp now, defensive. Mom, Tyler's family is very image conscious. They don't want someone like you there. Someone like me? You know what I mean. You're not exactly polished. You dress like you shop at Goodwill because you do. You don't know which fork to use at formal dinners. You'd embarrass me in front of his family. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. Kelly, I gave you everything. Everything? You did the bare minimum, Mom. You were supposed to provide for me. That's what parents do. I shouldn't have had to grow up poor. Now I'm finally escaping that life and I don't need you dragging me back down. But I'm your mother. Tyler's family is my family now. Goodbye, Mom. She hung up. I sat on my couch, staring at the phone, unable to process what had just happened. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Kelly. If you show up at the wedding, security will remove you. I already gave them your photo. Also, the honeymoon resort needs another. $4,000. Wire it by Friday. I read that message 3 times. She'd banned me from the wedding, and then asked for more. Money. That's when something inside me snapped. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't break down. I opened my laptop. I pulled up every invoice, every contract, every receipt. And I realized something very important. Every single vendor contract was signed by me. Victoria Chen, not Kelly Rivera, not Tyler. Me. I'd paid for everything with a loan in my name. Credit cards in my name, checks from my account, which meant I controlled everything. I looked at the wedding. Budget I'd carefully tracked venue. 8,000 catering, 9,500 photography, 3,200 flowers, 2,800 DJ, 800 dress alterations, 5,200 cake, 2,500 invitations, 900 hair and makeup, 600 decorations, a 500 total, $32,032. $1,000 for a wedding. I wasn't invited. For the first time in weeks, I smiled. Not a warm smile. A cold, dangerous smile. My daughter wanted a wedding without me. She'd get one. I called the hotel where the reception was booked. Hello? This is Victoria Chen. I'm the account holder for the Rivera Anderson wedding on June 20th. I need to cancel the reservation. The coordinator's voice went high with panic. Ma'am, the wedding is in 10 days. We can only refund half the deposit. I'm not asking for a refund. I'm exercising my right as the signing party to cancel. Please process it immediately. But now please. There was typing. A long pause. Then it's done. Thank you. I hung up and crossed venue off my list. Hello, this is Victoria Chen. I need to cancel the catering order for June 20th. Ma'am, we've already purchased ingredients and hired staff. Not my problem. Cancel it. Day 3 photographer. Cancelled. Day 4 florist. Cancelled. Day 5 DJ. Cancelled. Day 6 cake. Cancelled. Day 7 hair and makeup team. Cancelled. Day 8 I called the printer. The invitations that were supposed to be delivered. Destroy them. Day 9. Cancel all dress alteration appointments for Kelly Rivera. The bridal shop owner hesitated. But the wedding is this weekend. I'm aware. Every single vendor. Gone. I lost about $5,000 in non-refundable deposits, but I saved $27,000 worth. Every penny. My phone rang at 9 p.m. I let it ring twice before. Answering, "What the fuck did you do?" Kelly's voice was shrill, panicked, broken. I kept my voice calm, ice cold. I canceled the wedding. You can't do that. Everything's in my name. No, Kelly, check the contracts. Everything's in my name. I signed them. I paid for them. And I canceled them. Mom, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. You said I was an embarrassment. You said I dress like trash. You said I owed you a decent childhood because I raised you in poverty. I was stressed. I didn't mean it. You also said Tyler's family is your family now. So let them pay for the wedding. They can't. Please, Mom. I'll invite you. Front row. I promise. I don't want to sit in the front row of a wedding where I'm an embarrassment. Mom, I'll do anything. Please. You should have thought about that before you treated me like garbage. Goodbye, Kelly. Wait, I'll pay you back. You can't even afford the wedding without me. How will you pay back $32,000? Silence. Enjoy your big day, sweetheart. I hung up, blocked her number, and poured myself a glass of wine. Kelly tried everything. She called from different numbers. Blocked. She showed up at my house, banging on the door, sobbing. I turned off the lights and didn't answer. She sent Tyler. He knocked nervously. Mrs. Chen, please. We can work this out. Your fiancé called me an embarrassment. Tell her she made her choice. I closed the door. Tyler's parents called. Mrs. Chen, we can reimburse you. I don't want your money. I want my daughter to learn that actions have consequences. Click. The wedding day came. I heard through mutual friends, Joyce, who still talked to me, that they tried to pull together something at a friend's backyard. 40 people. No decorations. iPhone photos. Pizza delivery. No flowers. No music. The bride wore an unaltered dress that didn't fit. Tyler's mother cried through the entire ceremony. When Joyce told me, I smiled and poured another glass of wine. Months passed. Kelly sent emails, apologies, begging. I deleted them all. She showed up at my work. Security removed her. A year later, Joyce told me, Kelly had a baby, a girl. She named her after you. She wants you to meet your granddaughter. My response was immediate. She said I was an embarrassment who didn't know which fork to use. I'd hate to embarrass my granddaughter, too. Tell her congratulations. Joyce looked shocked. You don't want to meet your grandchild? I don't want to meet the child of someone who sees me as less than human. Years later, someone asked me, do you regret it? I smiled. I regret taking out a $32,000 loan for someone who called me trash. I regret believing her lies. I regret raising someone who thought using me was acceptable. But destroying her wedding? That was the best $5,000 in lost deposits I ever spent. She wanted a life without me. She got one. I paid off that loan. It took 3 years. And every month when I made a payment, I smiled knowing she didn't get another dollar from me. She wanted a new family. I hope they were worth it. As for me, I sleep like a baby every single night. Now here's my honest take. Victoria was 100% right. Kelly didn't just exclude her mom, she called her an embarrassment, banned her from the wedding, then demanded more money. That's not a daughter, that's a user. Victoria didn't destroy the wedding out of spite. She simply stopped funding someone who treated her like trash. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away from people who only see you as an ATM. What do you think? Did Victoria go too far, or did Kelly deserve it? Drop your opinion below. If this moved you, hit that like and subscribe. Remember, love yourself enough to say no to people who treat you like garbage. Thanks for watching.